Realize with me, God has you be a father or a mother. He has you be the creator of what he values. Do you see what that means? He has made you. I mean, you could say he's made you his right hand, or he's made you the very person that creates what he loves. Isn't that lovely? You not only have the sheer pleasure of doing what he does, creating, but you're actually creating what he loves. He's telling you just how much he loves you. Isn't that just wonderfully lovely? Thank you, Dad. Oh, I came to this by thinking of my friend, my two friends, Karen and Andrew, and their parents to 10 children. And last night they'd come back from various events. The girls had been shopping, of course, and the men had been to motor racing, to motorbike racing. He's a ex-professional of outstanding success in motorcycling, and so the boys have all taken to motorcycles, of course, and the wife is not terribly happy about this, but you know, that's what their history is, and she doesn't encourage it. She's concerned about it, but it doesn't stop her loving, of course. In fact, it's all part of her love for them. And I felt, as she came into the room where they were watching them motorcycling on some Australian Grand Prix of motorcycling, whatever it was, and they're all the fellas, all the boys, are on the bed with their backs on the wall, watching the telly. I think there's something like 5 bodies laying there of assortment of ages, including Dad, watching the motorcycling. And I'm standing leaning against the wall next to the bed, and she's standing on my right, and it's her family. It's their family. But it's God's family, you see. He's bringing into existence beings like himself with life eternal. And this is his loving care, the childhood of them. Literally as well, of course. Well, certainly for the kids. You know, as a parent, it's not only being done to you, but you're doing it. You're doing the very creation that God is doing with you. Absolute loveliness. You could feel the fulfillment of the scene. It's an eternal scene of moving from non-existence to the infinity of life eternal. If you like, adding to the host of heaven. makes us, doesn't only do it for us, he makes us a part of doing it. Because that's what he values. And when you look at those parents, you realize that's what they value too. You know, we've looked at God saying, you know, to man, go forth and multiply. And we think, oh, that's a bit sort of, not very spiritual. No. He values us. He values life. Just as we value life. It's just that he's on a fantastic scale. And we join him in this. In fellowship. In eternity. Is life eternal? It's not trivial, that statement. Go forth and multiply. It's not a trivial command. If you deny the family its importance, you miss the whole point of the universe of uncertainty. You deny the very foundation on which your universe is built. You're like a chap sawing a branch off a tree, but he's sitting on the branch that he's cutting off. Not a good idea. You should stop sawing. Unless you can trust that the love of God's going to be down there to catch you. Bless you, mate. Thank you, Dad. Gosh, I don't know if you can hold this, but it occurs to me that, well, this might be hard to say, and this might just make it hard to publish too. You know, when you make love and you reach a climax, you reach a moment of bliss, satisfaction, climax, whatever you call it, I don't know. Do you see you're at the very point of ideally bringing in new life? You know, a child is going to be conceived. This is the conception of the child. And you glimpse for an instant the sheer joy and satisfaction that God has in his creation of the conception of the new child into the kingdom of heaven, the host of heaven. It's the epitome of you're doing what he does. You bring life. The conception of life. You know, what we have always owned, in a sense, only to God, in a mystery. He has you engaged in, and for an instant you glimpse, you experience the reality of his wholesomeness, the awe and the wonder of his being, that brings being into being. Now, I don't know what to make of this from the point of view of our understanding of making love and so on. It's not trivial, you know. Yes, you are making love for pleasure, and it expresses how much you want to appreciate the person you're making love with. And it expresses in the way that you can express your selflessness to them. You know, you've probably been making love and making sure that, ideally, that they enjoy it as much as you enjoy them. Well, this isn't trivial. This is not something to be taken as degrading or sneered at or despised in some way. Making love is the preliminary to bringing into being what God loves and values too. Life, persons, children of heaven, children of His family in the eternity of heaven. You see, He uses the world of the universe of the transitory to give birth to the eternal. It's not something we can quite grasp, except in terms of children coming from sort of nowhere and suddenly being and growing into adults. The wonder of childbirth is absolutely staggering. You look at this creature that didn't exist, 9 months ago, and you just think, wow. And, as you see them go through the baby and toddler age, you just think, wow, this person didn't exist and they're becoming a person, and they're part of you. I don't even know what I'm saying here. Let me pause. Oh, well, I know what I did want to say in passing. I suddenly thought of those, our concern is for all life, isn't it? What about these people that don't have partners, that aren't parents, aren't becoming parents? Are you going to reject them because they long for what you enjoy? That's not right. Are you going to despise their needs? Are you going to say that in some sense, they shouldn't have these desires and needs? Are you going to degrade it by simply dismissing such as degrading of humanity? You got it wrong. It is what humanity is about. It's this great desire for the fullness of creativity. And it's in the very bedrock of your physical nature. What we've disparagingly labelled as your sex drive. There's a whole vast industry out there that's extremely lucrative, that's, you feel, preying on this depravity. You've got it wrong. It's responding to a fundamental need in God's creation to be part of the sheer joy of God's creativity. What we have disparagingly dismissed as sexual need, and the scorn we have for substitute ways of meeting that need, given the lack of success in having a wonderful, loving partner for life. Woe unto you, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites! Woe unto you! How can I bear you much longer? I seek and sought your loving kindness for my creation, not your judgment on it. I'm not interested in your view that degrades the very purpose and values that I am. To get some sense of proportion here, he forgives us for our ignorance, for we know not what we do. But my goodness, only God's grace could do it, and does. We have good reason to be thankful to Him when we realize how much He tolerates what is so alien to Him. But He endures our childhood because He loves us and ever knows the eternal completeness that we are becoming. Love you, Dad. Well, in case you've missed the point here, what I'm saying is, oh gosh, if I can say this concisely, you need to be kind about prostitution and pornography and so on. It's not the ideal. It's a consequence of the world not meeting the purpose of God. The loveliness of romance, making love, having children, faithfulness, being a parent, family, fulfillment in seeing your children and your grandchildren. We're in a world of good and evil. The evil is that we can't all enjoy and don't all enjoy such fulfillment. The grace and the goodness is God's compassion and kindness and rescue of those that don't have this fullness. Ideally, you should be overcome with compassion, not condemnation, for their solutions in this dilemma. Here I stand.